Okay, I think we are ready to get started now. Good morning and welcome to Grace and Liza. Say good morning because it is morning where I am. I am in San Diego in an area, I'm sorry, that is having quite a bit of construction this morning. So it's going to be a little bit noisy. I'm sorry for that. I hear something like a jackhammer going on out there. So I'm sorry if you hear that. I can't control it. Been working on this colored pencil Succulent for a little while now. So I'm going to be getting back to work on that. Here is the reference photo for what I've been working on. So I'll be getting to work on that in just a second. Still getting my photo. We're done a lot of this. Some of it I did before I was doing the live stream again. Some of it I've done on camera, some of it done off. Because this is repeating the same process, I don't feel like you're missing anything if I were off camera on this, just because it's just doing the same steps over and over again. So I've done some of the outer leaves here, and what I've learned with working with this is that it's great to work from the outside in, so that is how I am doing, or the under to the top. So you come to a point where these actually sit on top of everything. You have to start in the middle and go back out. So I did these over here. I've got a couple more on this side. So I think I'm gonna work on that bottom part before I get to work. Let's work over here. We worked down here a lot the other day. We're gonna move. I'm gonna change my mind and we're gonna work up in this area today. So let's zoom that in some so you guys can see a little bit better. Sorry for the bounce on my tripod there. Hopefully it won't make you seasick. So this is where we'll be working. I will get that set. As I said earlier, I'm in San Diego. It's pretty funny because from Louisville, Kentucky originally, and it is supposed to be snowing there this morning. They've been getting a lot of late weather snow. And today we're supposed to hit 91 here today, which is crazy warm, but we are not normally quite that warm. So it's kind of funny the differences there. So right here's where we're going next. Doing my look, and let's see what this guy looks like. Okay, got it. Colors aren't ultra important. I'm going to give you guys just some basic things that I use with color. The exact shade isn't important. I'm using indigo blue right here in my Prismacolors. A really dark blue is what I would suggest using, and I like the indigo. And I'm just going to come in right here. And I'm just laying in a shadow. Just following my reference that I keep right off camera. I mean, it's right in front of me, so it's easy to see. I think, oh, I'm sorry, you can't see. Right off camera right there. Straight in front of me, easy to see, but keeps it simple for me. And then I'm using I use Gamsol to blend. I like it so much better. I used to use blender pencils a whole lot, and I still use those some, but I've just found lately this has been just working really well with my style. I am going to apologize a little bit for the fact that this paper is warped. I spilled a beverage right when I started, just water. And I tested it, and it bounced back pretty well, so I haven't worried too much about it, especially consider I'll mount it flat in the frame. So it's interesting because it makes it look like I did a background on this, but I didn't do a background. It's just the paper all warped on this. So that was a deep purple that I just kind of used, purpley red. Black cherry for that one. I also have mulberry out. And then I have a bunch of the olivey greens and then a couple of the lime greens, and those work together pretty well. I didn't put them back in my holder very nicely. So I'd love to know where you are watching from this morning and what it's like where you are. Is it noisy? Is it quiet? Is it day, night? I've had people, it's been fun doing this live stream, because when you get people watching over in Europe, it's nighttime for them. Here I'm just getting started with my day and they're finishing up their day already, and I just think that's pretty cool. Darker green here. And I am just using the lightest of pressures on this. It doesn't take much. I absolutely adore this black pepper, and just to know too, the first coat is, it will disappear quite a bit, so be ready for that in just a second, but it lays a great foundation to build off of. And the whole secret to colored pencils is layers and being patient. There you are. My mulberry. Lost it. And put in a teeny bit. And a lot of that will blend out here in a minute. As I draw up my damsel. Good thing that was closed. And I'm just using a size 2 filbert to blend with. I have a smaller one for the really teeny areas, like when I was getting in there. It was just so tight, like this brush was too big. It was kind of funny because it's not a huge brush, but staying clean with the piece was very difficult. I just love how all of a sudden like they all just kind of melt and blend together. It's fun to watch. Love that transformation. Good morning, Katrina. Just seeing your chat up there. My husband isn't in here monitoring chat today. Normally he sits over on the couch and lets me know if I need to pay attention to anything, but he has changed his work schedule, so he is sleeping right now because he works now midnight to 7, so making some adjustments in our family. There is a great start on that one. First layer down. Now we get to come in and do the fun part, all the fine tuning on it. Okay, so I'm looking here, and it's a little darker right through here. You can see I've got that started, and then it goes dark like this, and then darker right through here. Lay in that. Now we're gonna build it out a little lighter, a little lighter, a little lighter. Lightest one right here. There's those shades put in. We are not 100% great. I'm noticing when my hand's going on. Is it staying clear for everybody else out there that's watching? I'm kind of watching my feed and it's looking like it's getting a little bit fuzzy. Let me know what you've got. It may just be my playback here. For those of you who follow this, you know that we have days where we have to restart this a couple of times. And that's okay. I will restart it to get us a good picture. Now, in that nice little point right there. And that's when these really start to take shape, is when you start putting in that edge. They are going to town out there this morning on construction. I get this strangest noises in this apartment. We have this one lawn guy that I don't know what he does, because with the amount of yard work that he does here, I would think that we would have like this incredible looking place. But it's not that great for the amount of hours he's putting in. So I get confused by it, just because it really isn't. So I don't know what you guys have for yards. It's all just the shared space. Going back with the gamsel right now here. Hopefully you're seeing now as a second comes through. Trying to pull some of the color likes to go where your brush is sending it sometimes, and so trying to keep that part in there pretty deep and dark, so making sure I'm pulling the color back out. Would love to know what you guys did over the weekend. Coming back Monday morning. My kids were on spring break all last week. Today was their first day back to school, so we had one of those fun mornings of trying to get everybody back into the swing of things. They all made it to school on time, so I consider that a victory on a morning like this. Now I'm going to sharpen my mulberry and my cream as I come in to put in these harder details. The base on this is looking really good. Mainly just because these are such a teeny bit of color on the edge. And it, you know, one of the things with realism is you don't want to outline, but these are like, it looks like an outline on it. Like if you look at the actual piece, it's got a lot of that with it. If you get torn. So that's why I try to do the kind of little dot motion so that it's not quite so hard. And that's kind of me making it up, because it on here is very pronounced. Okay. Oh, somebody's opening a closet somewhere. I can hear the closet going. Never dull when you live in an apartment. I've learned that. We don't have a house since we got married. Oh, sorry. We were in an apartment for the first 5 months we were married, because we were still in college for those 5 months. But we've owned a house ever since, and so you kind of forget what it's like. So it's been like having people so close and being constantly together, and we've never lived like this with children, so it's been an interesting adventure here since we moved. Okay, we're starting on the next one, moving along, back in with that dark blue, and then going in with the dark purpley red. you can't watch everything right now with us, that is fine, because I do put these up later. How long the upload takes. Sometimes it takes longer than others. Yesterday, or last week's, I was working on for a couple of hours trying to get the upload done. It was not cooperating. It was driving me a little nuts. Darker green here. One of the things I want to stress is just how it isn't difficult to create these effects if you're used to coloring and coloring books and working to make it a little more realistic in those, that this is just following a lot of those same principles that get used there. So I just want to encourage you guys to try this out. I mean, I use transfer paper and put this on with that, and so basically what I'm doing is just coloring what I transferred from my reference photo that I have, and so it's fun to do. It doesn't take like a ton of thinking, but it just took some time. I did this transfer holding a paper clip, and my hand hurt so bad by the time I was done. It was what I had to do it. I've since found the tool so that I can save my hand on future ones, but yeah, so you don't even have to have fancy equipment to do it. You can use a paper clip. I just bought the white transfer paper because clearly graphite transfer paper would not be your friend so much on that. I had that before and it made me kind of laugh thinking about, oh, graphite. I'm not going to work on this and try to figure it out. And it's been nice getting back to my regular upload schedule. I got 4 videos up last week, which is crazy to think, getting back into this. I've been working on One Piece forever, and wanted to have a good video of it up a week before I finally got a video up, just because it was taking that much longer than when we're gonna. It was the one that went up yesterday, and it was originally intended to be a 1 part, and I was like, well, I'm not done yet, but I want to get a video up, so I decided, well, why don't I use my footage and we'll make it 2 parts. So I think I'm going to be happier with the fact that it's 2 parts, because it makes it a lot more watchable, doable for you at home, because it does take that long. So it's breaking it into a little bit slightly more doable chunks. But I've just been surprised at the amount of time I've spent already on this piece, and that I'm not done and moved on. So I'm going to add in back in with my mulberry and just really lightly. A little bit in on here, because it's not beautifully smooth on it. It's kind of got some bumps, and the reference photo is taken either after they just watered it or in the rain, and I'm kind of editing out the rain because I on a piece like this it would make it a little bit difficult to see by making it too busy. This is one of the things I have to kind of look and see, okay, is that caused by rain, or is that the actual color of the plant too? Because in the picture it makes it look almost blurry instead of, oh, it just rained on this picture. So the beauty of creating your own is you get to go in and do those little changes because you want to. I think I'm going to use my apple on this green just to kind of this one blends in well and keeps its color, so that's why I'm putting it in just a teeny bit, even though it's not the exact shade of the piece. I just know how it behaves. That's part of the fun of this, is you just, as you work, you'll learn what the different ones do and how they work together and what you like. I mean, it's not, my way's not the only way. You may like it to look a little different, so you can do that. A little bit. This one, dark green, then I'm going to come in with some blue to really lay into this and give it some shape. It looks like a really harsh line right now. I promise it won't when I get it blended. Okay, let's get the gamsel going. I am using Prismacolors because it's what I have and they work great in this application. Typically, if I'm working in one of my coloring books, I will use my Kohinoors instead. They were the first pencil I owned, and so I know how to get them to behave. Sometimes that's the battle with pencils, is getting them to behave and do what you want in those applications. But the Prismacolors whites and lighter shades just have a way to be able to layer and blend that I can't do with any of my pencils that I currently own. I know there are other pencils out there that aren't as budget friendly as what I have. That can do that with the Faber-Castells, and if you use those, I would love to know what you think, and you know, what type of projects do you use them in? Just those little questions on it, just because I do believe that different pencils do work well in different places. I don't think that you can, in your toolbox, get away with having a Prismacolor white to be able to pull in for whites. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe the Faber-Castells, when you use them, actually can do a great job. The Faber-Castell Ivory is one of my must-haves too. I do own that one, the Polychromos Ivory, just because that I have not seen that color in any other sets. And so that one is one I have and I use pretty regularly. Not using it on this, don't really need it. I'm using the cream though, instead of bright white, just because I think, and we were talking about the problem that it seems to be so many little spots on this where it would look like it was outlined, and that's one of the reasons not to use the white, is because I don't want it to look like it's just a outline piece. So I'm going in now. It's Parma Violet. using it as my lavender shade here. Just on that, and then on this edge here. There's that one done next. And I am planning another layer after I do all of it. I got the very thins, and I'm looking forward to using those for really putting in some fine detail. And some of the little pieces once I'm done with this. I'll take a drink of my coffee for a minute. Where we move on to the next little leaf. So I've had some big things happen. Let's see who is on bottom. Trying to decide, it's this one or this one. Let's do the picture. It is this one, so we're moving to this one next. And it is very green. I'm using the apple green a little bit more on this one. Looking at all the colors in it. Lots of this. Looking, and I'll be able to do the two little guys, and I may do save one of those and do it in next week's live stream, so we can actually do a whole one. It's got kind of a scratchy spot. Don't get scared. I'm going to go really, really light for just a moment with this one. Just in a little area. This really bright chartreuse. I don't know why as a kid I always thought chartreuse was a pink. I'd heard the name and it sounded like such an exciting color, but for me, for some reason, it sounded like a pink, not a yellowy green. It's like, you're a little bit sad. Just like puce to me sounds like a green when it's actually more like a brick red kind of color. So there's your things that are not as you thought. A little bit for today. Kind of a splotchy bit right in here. And that splotchy bit. Go to the darker now. Kind of crazy looking right now for the first layer. Oh, I am realizing I am totally working off camera. I am sorry, guys. There we go. Sorry about that. That's been really boring. I think the colors are working really, really well. So yeah, when I was talking about chartreuse, for those of you who do not know, this is yellow chartreuse right here, but chartreuse is actually like this crazy bright green color. Never thought that as a kid. Always thought it was pink. I was wrong. Sorry about working off that. Didn't even think about that. Just love the way this does. I know I've already said it in this video. But I love the way that the Gamsol just makes it all just kind of go blend together. It's like this cool just effect that you get. I'd like to know who was the person who thought, hey, you know what, if we use this and tried it for the first time. Maybe that's out there somewhere in Wikipedia or something. Thank you, Kim, saying that the very colors are so realistic. It's one of those funny things when you set the colors out together at first, there's a couple of oddballs. And there always are. If you look at anything, there's always an oddball color that you probably wouldn't have at first expected to be in there. But when you look at anything, it's like, oh yeah, that is the right shade. But like, ooh, I don't know about this one. Especially that yellow chartreuse that I just showed you guys. It's nice to come back to a piece too, because I didn't get to work at this one at all this week. And when you're working in the middle of it, it's hard to kind of take a step back and see what it really looks like, and then you come back with it with fresh eyes. It's like, oh, this looks cooler than I thought. When I was working on it, I was like, oh, I don't know if I like this, I don't know if I like that. And you get so engrossed with the details that you lose the perspective on it. And I'm just taking my pencils I go into there and going super, super light. It's so weird with the darker colors. Again, black paper makes me think, I said this in the previous one, I haven't said it today, that you can let the paper show through. And so rather than firmer pressure where you're wanting it to go darker, you actually lighten up, and it's exactly opposite of everything else I normally do. It takes a lot more thinking for me. Than it does on other pieces, just because I'm having to think, oh yeah, light, light, light. What do I want to use? I'm going to use this spring green out here. I'm going to have an effect I'm going to layer on once I get these colors blended, because there's spots on the sleeves where it's almost like because of the texture, there's like a little film, and so I can't lay that on first. Like I almost have to do the underside and then lightly rub my pencil on top of it to get the double layer effect. I mean, there'd be no way to go in and lay in each individual, it's almost like pixel dot on this. quiet today with the kids at school. Spring breaks here are 2 weeks long. I've never had that long of a spring break. Well, when I wasn't homeschooling. And they've been a week, and so this 2 weeks has been just, especially trying to get back to work here on the channel. And I reached the point where I could, was like trying to, but I can't because I've got them home, and we're all trying to share a small space, you know, our place. I guess world standards, not like ultra tiny, but for American standards, it's tiny. So that's where we are right now, and it's been really tough trying to get things done around here. Let's try this first with the purple. It's interesting because it's going underneath, but the way the light is coming in, it's creating a highlight there that's not normally there. Like you wouldn't think, like if you're just making this up in your head. Unexpected. A little bit of light sneaking in here. Then I'm just gonna roll with my finger a little because I'm so light on the paper. I found that a lot of times I can actually even use my finger to blend. Which is nice. And then I can skin with this. A highlight in there. Got it. Here. Pepper my brush. A bit of blending, but not a lot of blending. And there's that guy in. Next, I'm trying to decide which one we'll do next. I think I'm going to do this one, the in between right there. Kind of bridge it. What time are we looking at? We got 20 minutes. Hi, Style with Ella. I see in your chat there. Okay, so I've got my next sip of coffee. It is getting cold, which is sad. Cold coffee is not my favorite friend. And we're going to move into here now. Now everybody knows why I speed these up when I make the videos for everything, because how long this takes is not a fast process. The dark one. I feel like I'm almost a broken record with these today. They get a lot more fun when you get towards the middle because they move fast and then they're all of a sudden like just popping with each other. These outer ones, typically, it's interesting to me because the outer ones where you've got so much room that you could do a lot of detail on them. You're not trying to cram it in. They tend to have less detail in the pictures. Like I look at these succulents and it's like the inner ones have a ton of interest especially like right in this area, but these outer ones where they're really big, trying to keep them looking interesting in comparison to where there's so much going on with those little itty bitty ones, has been somewhat of a challenge for me. Going in first with the bright green here. Rather than being quite as olivey green, it's a little more to a natural green, Crayola green, whatever, however you want to think about that, like true what you picture. It's still got a little bit of the olive going on, but not as much. Laying in all that green there. Got a little arc mulberry right here. There we go. Basics of that one in. I don't know, maybe it's just that I like the ones in the middle a little bit better too. I have more fun doing those. They go pretty fast, so I feel like you're getting a lot done. I feel like, I don't know if any of you have ever worked with yarn or things like that. Like when you're starting a project, you know, like you're crocheting a blanket or anything, feels like you're growing because, again, it's proportion, you know, you're doing the first couple of rows, you're doubling its size, you know, on the second row, and then the fourth row doubles it again. So you're seeing a lot of proportional increase at the very beginning. So it feels like, oh, I'm doing so much. And then when like you're on row 972, you're like, yeah, this is not getting any bigger. When it still is, it just doesn't feel like it. So maybe that's it, that, you know, I may be covering a lot of area, but when I'm doing all these little ones together, it feels like I'm getting so much more done and a lot more accomplished. Okay, let's lay in more color on that. Suddenly this leaf, this one will look like it's way in the shadow. Seeing how dark that color is right there. Make it go. That old football shirt. Push it back, way back. My husband's decided he's going to get into baseball, I think. He's interested. He's not really a super sporty guy, so I'm curious to see what this is going to be like. Believe it or not, I'm actually the one with the sports degree in the family. And if I think I have a sports degree, and I make art for a living. Just goes to show you never know what you're going to do with yourself when you're 18. I do use part of my degree though. My minor is in coaching, and I really like encouraging people, so I do use that. now the birds are singing. I don't hear construction noises. It sounds so beautiful and peaceful right now after all the construction earlier. Thankful that the jackhammering has stopped. So one thing we've noticed in San Diego is like the birds will sing in the morning, but you don't hear them as much all day long, especially where we are. We're right on the kind of the border between San Diego and East County, in the Mesa. And so we get both the coastal and the desert things going on. Like today, it's supposed to be 91 degrees here. That's what the phone said last night, so we're waiting to see if that actually happens. But I'm hoping it doesn't quite get that hot today. I'm not ready to be dealing with that. I know some of you guys are dealing with snow, and I totally feel you on that. All of our family back home got snow over the weekend and got snow again today. At least they were supposed to get snow. I haven't actually gotten on Facebook to look and see if that snow came through or not. They're starting to wonder if spring's ever going to come. And I live in an area where it feels sometimes like it never leaves. And it's been hard. I like snow. I'm kind of weird in that way. I enjoy it. I think it's, you know, I love seasons. I love getting to do the transition with seasons and just the way that all goes. This is gonna look a little weird for just a second. Bear with me. That little bit of purple is there in it. Oh, I just got a notification. Probably some sort of article telling me I forgot to mute my iPad. No, that's not the color I want. I want this one. I need to sharpen it though because I need it really tight. There we go. This beautiful green ochre. A little ridge coming up right there, so I was trying to make sure I got that in. I'm gonna pepper blend that in a little bit. I don't know if that's the exact term, but that's just what I think about it. Kind of dabbing my brush. It doesn't like do a full-on blend. It does a kind of what I consider a partial blend right there. So I got some highlight down here in the purple. In. Now we'll lay in the cream on this. And it kind of comes over. Right there. Naughty bits. Naughty bits down there too. There we go. That guy's in now. And where are we? 10:52. I think we can get this one done. We'll finish this one and then that will have us done for today. That'll be quite a bit of progress on this. Yay. So, let's see what you look like. Pretty much like all the others that we've done today. Blue, black cherry, create some arky shape right there. I'm gonna go in with the green ochre. Lime peel. I haven't held this up to a lime to see if it actually really does look like lime peel or not. I feel like, looking at it, that most of the limes I've seen are a little more green than this one. This one feels like more bright green, not that kind of olivey, like a light olive. So now I'm curious, I need to go get a lime. That looks really funny right now. Like, I'm glad I'm not leaving it like that. This is where doing multiple layers is important. You could, I guess, leave it like that. And maybe that would make it fine art if all I did was just what would have been my first layer on all of this and just leave it there. It had to be done pretty fast. And give it some big title like in progress, or you know, be on Instagram about all the works in progress that people post, and I don't know. Okay, there's first layer. Let's go in now and let's put in the next layer. And then with that green ochre, I'm going to put in more lime peel. Okay. A little bit of a shadow coming in there. Put that in. And that. And now the mulberry. There's a teeny bit of mulberry. Right there. For this layer. Another layer on, and now to blend that in. Because these areas do have such crisp, defined parts between each petal, that's why I do one petal at a time and then blend versus doing several and blending. Yes, and so they do sit on top of each other. It kind of allows me to get that clean edge between them. And one of the reasons for putting the blue in those areas where it is very darkly deeply shadowed down there is because it keeps it from being a flat black. And I like to avoid flat, straight blacks as much as I can. That's just my style on this. I would recommend it to people just because it allows for you to be able, it helps your shadows. If you look, a shadow isn't ever truly just like flat black. Like I can look under my coffee table right now and those shadows aren't black. They're actually different shades. So thinking through what color a shadow would be on this, and a lot of times I tend to just add purple or blue versus adding black. I don't add black a whole lot. Some purple. In there. Now to come in. Hold my hand backwards here. Normally I'd rotate my paper to do this. I'm trying not to do that too much for you guys. Teeny bit. There we go. Okay, that will finish it for today. I'm going to zoom out my camera so you guys can see the whole thing again. Right there. There it is. Zoom out maybe a teeny bit more. Oh, too much. Not trying to make you sick there, zooming in and out so much. But there we are today. We got around over here. So we've got those two kind of on this layer left. So I'm going live every Monday now, 10 a.m. Pacific Daylight Standard Time. And it's what time I can get up and ready, get the kids out of the house, and then I can sit down with you guys with my cup of coffee. So I love being able to do that, and I'm enjoying getting to work on this piece with you. Please leave a comment if you have an idea on something you would like to see on a live stream too, so that I can have ideas going for when this is finished, because it will happen sooner or later. And also you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I'm at Grace and Lottie's. Been posting mainly about what I've been working on for my Sunday videos over there, just because it has taken up so much of my time, but it is almost finished. So you can keep up with what's going on, what is coming up, as well as don't forget to tag me in what you are working on, because I'm wanting to put together like compilation videos sharing with our community about what you guys have been doing as well. So tag me in those so that we can celebrate what we've been doing together. That is it for today. Make sure to remember that art happens in everyday life. Make sure you're watching for it. Bye.